Hey everyone, just wanted to discuss what happened after our dealer left that first day after the on-water delivery and instructions. We are new boat owners, we never owned a boat before. Have kind of a basic idea of what it is. I've watched enough of all the videos on YouTube prior to actually getting the boat that I pretty much knew everything about the boat before it got here. But that being said, what we noticed was the bilge, for one, was on and it wasn't pumping anything. We have about a 10-minute ride from where we could get the boat on plane to back to the dock. It's a no-wake zone, so we set the no-wake cruise at 5 miles an hour and just went back to the dock. When we got there, there was the light on the dash, or the light on the console right there, saying that the bilge was on. There was nothing coming out, so I opened up the back motor compartment where the bilge would be, and I found a bunch of waters just splashing around all inside there, coming out from behind the fresh water tank. At that point there, I got the dealer online on the phone through FaceTime, and was showing him what was going on and what was that, and I'm down there reaching around trying to figure out where this water's coming from, and come to find out that the bilge, end of the bilge hose, I'll show you here in a video in a little bit, wasn't hooked up, and so it was just sitting on the ground. There was never a clamp on it, anything. It was just sitting on the back of the boat behind the fresh water tank. So I just grabbed the hose. It was long enough. You'll see in the video down here how long it is. I just stuck it out the back, and it pumped out all the water. At that point there, I was able to find the bilge connection on the side of the boat, the through hull, and I just hooked it up. So that being said, I didn't understand why there was that much water in it, but it didn't make any sense. But the bilge was working, I'll be fine. So we took it back out. When we were done for the day, we went to put it on the trailer, and it was nice and easy. You saw the video. That was my wife's first time ever driving a boat onto a trailer. She did great. We got on the trailer, and it just seemed real heavy to operate the hand winch. It just seemed heavy. I just figured, not having a boat, maybe that's just how heavy they were. I got in the truck, I drove it a little, came up the hill, up the loading ramp a little bit, and the boat shifted. So I put it back in the water, tightened it back up. At that point there, we drove up to the top. The bilge pump at that point turned on and ran for probably a minute and a half of just water spewing out of the side of the boat. It was concerning. I didn't understand why there was, again, that was water in the boat, and why the bilge pump didn't turn on originally. So again, called the dealer, showed it to him. I took it back to the dealer at that point there. It was first day, and there's no reason to have 50 gallons of water in the bottom of your boat. There's no reason for it. We didn't take anything over the bow. We're going 5 miles an hour most of the time, break-in periods. And so that's what we did. We just took it back. So while it was at the dealer, we dropped it off on a Saturday. They're closed on Sunday, Monday, just like most boating dealers are. I just looked on YouTube. I was trying to figure something out, trying to figure out what was going on. I went through the forums. I went through YouTube. I found a couple, or more than a couple, posts of Yamaha boats and the anchor locker through hull connection not being fully through the hull. So when I talked to the dealer on Tuesday, it was probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, let him do what he needed to do to talk to Yamaha or whoever, find out what was going on. He said Yamaha stated that they thought that all the water came in through the side of the boat where the bilge pump should be pumping out of. And I just there's no way, it's too high off the water. We never took anything off the side, no side waves or anything like that. It's just, there's no way the water could have came in that location. So I mentioned to him about what I saw on YouTube and on the forum posts. What he said was, I'll get back to you and let me go take a look. So the next day he called me back. he said he had talked to Yamaha and that he apologized that I had to be the one to diagnose it correctly. What it was exactly what happened to the other boats, you know, from previous years, I guess, is that the through-hole connection at the anchor locker just wasn't all the way connected. It wasn't going all the way through. He had mentioned that Yamaha said that they had never heard of this before. And when asked about a fix for it, they said that there is no fix for it because there's nothing wrong with it. He went out and looked at the rest of the boats that he got from Yamaha this year that were sitting there getting ready to go out to the other people that purchased them, and they were all the same. And so he knew he had a problem. So what he did was, or what he was resorted to actually have to do, because Yamaha had no fix for it, was, you know, he went to West Marine and found a through-hole fitting. Actually, there was a discussion about a couple of things, making the hole bigger so it actually can put a true through-hole through it. But we didn't want to do that because it would void the warranty of the hull. We didn't have, you know, there was a whole bunch of little things that we were kind of discussing back and forth, and so we just ended up putting a smaller through-hole fitting that was long enough to get into the anchor locker into the existing fitting. And so my diameter is just a little bit thinner, but it still will drain out. And so I'm going to show you what I have and what the fix was, and hopefully this will help you guys out. All right? This is how the boat normally sits in the water. Nice and flat. Plenty of room between the through-hole fitting and the water. At no wake speeds, the boat pretty much stays the same. The only difference is the size of the wakes from the other boats, wind waves, etc., that might actually put water into the through-hole connection. Here we have a stickman party going on. Bunch of people in the bow, hanging out, talking, chit-chatting. The level of the boat has changed in the water. So the front of the bow goes down to where it's either touching underwater or is more susceptible to the wakes getting into the through-hole connection. The dotted line is kind of a representation of equal distance from the stern of the boat to the bow of the boat. And below that you can see here that it has more space, and as it gets down towards the bilge, it kind of tapers off, excuse me. So when you have the people up front or it's already started to get water in it, it's actually going to retain the water below the boat without getting to the bilge. What I found was when I put it on the trailer, and I'll show you a little video, you can see that when it's on a trailer, the boat sits pretty stern heavy. So that way the water, when you undo the drain plug in the back, everything comes rushing out. What we had was, after we got it on the trailer, a stream of water coming out of the bilge right here for probably about a minute and a half, when all of that other water that was trapped up here in the front actually released and came almost in a fashion like this, and there was just a lot of water. This is what I've found on the forums, a little bit on YouTube, that when I talked with my dealer, I discussed this after they had already gone back to Yamaha and told some other things, but this is actually what happened and what the fix was. I'll show you some videos of the fix here in a second. So what was happening is water is coming in, and whether it shoots up into the locker and then comes back down, if it came back down, what's going to happen is it just goes into the hull. If it wasn't enough water to actually, you know, spray up in, it's just going to come in and then just drain down inside the hull. And so what was happening every time a little wind wave came or a wake came, while everybody's going in the no wake zone 5 miles an hour, the boat's just filling up with water the entire time. So what the fix was, and I'll show you that later, but they put another through-hole fitting in right here, and on top of the other one. At that point there, they used 5200 all the way around it, to seal this solid. So now if when the water comes in, it comes and it goes right back out here. It won't go that direction, it won't do anything else but go in and out like it was supposed to have been designed. Yamaha again said that there wasn't a fix for this because that's the way it was supposed to be designed. There's no way that that is the case. Our dealer in town actually had to go to West Marine to find the fittings that would fit inside this to make this all work out. So take a look at it, guys, and make sure that this isn't happening, because you're just getting water in your boat, and if you're like me and the bilge wasn't hooked up either, it kind of gets close to sinking. So this is where the bilge pump hose should exit the boat. Again, mine was not hooked up. I would definitely, if I was you guys, double check it. Here's the fix. They added a through hole fitting that was just a little bit smaller than the one from Yamaha. They put 5200 epoxy around it, and I will show you the top here in a second. Here it is from the top side. They came and put the 5200 around this fitting as well. It doesn't look real great, but don't think it was the problem. Here is the through hole fitting, the new one, and you can see it comes all the way through, and then they 5220 around it. It doesn't leak anymore, and that's really all I care about at this point. So after all that, I just want to clarify, the boat's a great boat. We love it. We took it out after it was the repair. It ran great. We're about just under 10 hours right now. We love it. It's a great boat, and we're super happy to have it, and we're happy that our dealer stepped up and was able to figure out what was going on. So talk to you guys later.